That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me out.
I'm not late.
Oh, just let me out.
Crazy.
That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me out. Oh, just let me out. That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me out. Fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Not a good start.
Make us no chaser. Gets the blood flowing like a fucking pacemaker. Cut the middleman and inhale the vapors. Madman, old 10 Don Drapers. Cut the jukebox.
Broadcasting live, we're already here. Badass. Broadcasting Al with Ownland, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tommy T, the shop in the point. I've got Jeff as point man, Matt behind the glass. How you gentlemen doing?
Yo. Good.
Are you ready for some sports talk? Sports talk radio.
Sports.
Talk radio. Sports. We're talking sports.
Nick Ray, let's go.
Sports. Of course. Thank you very much there, Nicholas. That's very nice.
We got a Oreo bomb.
We guys rocked it. Well, we're actually going to go back to our roots. Jeff is the perfect man to do it. You know, it's funny. I was talking to Nick yesterday. I wasn't going to watch a fight. And then...
I didn't spend $50 for that shit.
Well, the thing... Oh, shit. I just got a notch up on my throat.
Hell yeah.
No, good shit. I didn't bring any shit. The last one was so well done. I would say that was one of the top pay-per-views I ever... Why is my Star Wars tab off? Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Yeah, so what Tommy was trying to say, the last pay-per-view with fucking Tyson and all of them was fucking fantastic. I personally love the last pay-per-view.
Oh, the last pay-per-view. I would say the last pay-per-view was one of the top 10 pay-per-views I've ever gotten in any sport.
Oh yeah, you know, the presentation, everything, the fights were actually halfway decent.
Great. You know, it just kind of shows you really don't need, this is kind of sad for professional boxers, you don't really need to be good to sell a fight. It's more about the drama or the story behind it. That's why pro wrestling is still a very popular sports entertainment. And, you know, if you make it a real sporting event to boot, you get a, I'm sorry, I have to eat, my food just came.
Do your thing. Hey, get those gains.
You really get just a really entertaining product. That was not the case yesterday.
Yeah.
The camera work seemed crappy. The music went on for entirely too long. Last year they had performances in between rounds, which is cool. We did get to see Ice Cube. We get to see Snoop Dogg do pretty much the same fucking set he did last time, with some changes. So I mean, you know, the whole thing was you know, kind of a drag, to be perfectly honest with you. Rumors that the fight between Jake Paul and Ben Askren wouldn't even happen, and it became so irritating. I asked Nick if he wanted, because he said nobody wants to watch it with me. I was like, well, you know what? I'll watch it with you. And then the fight started, and we're all getting into it, and then this fight sucks. This music's gone on too long. I don't care about these fighters. They're not telling the story. The announcers were freaking irritating as fuck. Oscar De La Hoya was high as a kite. I mean, it was like utterly ridiculous. It's like he just started smoking pot the other day.
Yeah, I saw Barstool Sports make a cocaine joke.
Was it?
So
his eyes were all red, dude. He looked crazy. I love Oscar De La Hoya. It kind of ruined my image of him a little bit. I thought he was like...
How old is he?
48.
No, kid.
Is he really?
You know? I'm surprised he's only a few years older than me. I thought
40,
he was older than
48.
Yeah. So there we go. That's it, Jack. But the thing that happened is unfucking believable. Jake Paul knocks out Ben Askren in the first round. I think it was the first 40 seconds in a very, I would say, fundamental combo that was just brutal. And I know Chris Jericho made a comment that it was fake or fixed. Maybe he's just trying to hone in on it.
Yeah.
No way that was fixed. Jake Paul beat up a UFC boxer. Or
No, the punch wasn't.
No, that snapped him. Bang. I mean, if his neck could go on, his neck.
Well, if Askren can survive the knee from Masvidal, I mean, I think he can
didn't
take it.
survive the knee from hospital.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
physically he's still here. Mentally, I don't know about that.
well, I mean, what does he say about Jake Paul, though? I mean, is he for real? Is he a pro boxer? He's beaten 2 pro athletes that have recently retired. You know, I'd like to see him fight a nobody that's been trained to be a boxer, that has potential to be a heavyweight, or not a heavyweight, but a champion at some point. I don't know how well.
Yeah.
Jake does not look as good as those. And it could be a no-name, you know, an absolute no-name. It could be a, you know, and I honestly still think he can be beat, but I'm starting to question. I cannot believe Ben Askren showed up for looking like he did for the fight. I understand that he got a lot of money for it, and it was a nice little payday, and, you know, good for him. But if you ever saw the movie Any Given Sunday,
Great movie.
great flick, and one of the greatest sports speeches of all time. And it just really comes down to this: football is a game of inches, and it's those little inches that when you add them up, you know, they're going to lead to a victory. As long as you're willing to do what the guy next to you is willing to do, you know, like, you're unstoppable. And if you're going up against somebody that doesn't care whether he wins or loses, it probably was a predetermined thing. So how good is Jake Paul? You know, how good is Jake Paul as a fighter? It's just, you know, really, really interesting. You know, I'm dying to find out if he could fight somebody for real. I don't even know, and I don't know why he should. Maybe he should fight that guy Fournier or something, who's given a lot
That's
of
what
reach.
they were talking about.
He's given a lot of reach to that guy and a lot of height, and I imagine a few pounds too. Yeah, I mean, I think the Jake Paul story goes on, and it's actually pretty good. And I don't think it's bad for YouTube. I just wish Triller would get their act together and put the kind of show on they did 2 days ago, and stop letting idiot celebrities in the booth. You have to do it. So I didn't end up watching the fight because I was so irritated, but I got this morning and I watched it, and
all 12 seconds of it.
well, gee, it was 12 seconds.
No,
Nah, it was about 40 seconds, maybe a minute.
it wasn't much longer than the Masvidal fight, which was 6 seconds.
Yeah. Dude, Eric, that's the kind of shit that's going to get you banned, bro. I don't care. I don't like that shit. I don't even like threatening that shit. Because, Eric, consider this your first warning and your last one. I'm dead serious, you know. I don't ain't joking around about that stuff. I don't care how many times I'm doxxed in here or what have you, or whatever. Or somebody else is, but we're not playing that game. Hell.
Come on, man. You know better than that.
Yeah, come on, man. I don't care if you know it. Why give a lead somebody to know it? So I don't really care. Yeah. It's more than likely not to honk out, and who cares if it was? Yeah. It's a big deal. So it's really all I have to say. We have a really hot, top-heavy drama. You know, there's these big stories about sex assault that I really need to cover to make money, but I'm not. So we're going to see how this experiment goes. People want me to talk about EDP. The only thing I got to say about EDP is this. He should thank his lucky stars that he doesn't have a clothing line that competes with Ethan Klein. That's all I got to say about EDP. I'd like to hear from your calls because we are only doing another 50 minutes, and I'm out because there's not much going on. And
unless Ethan gets involved with the NFL.
Who gets involved with the NFL?
Ethan starts going at the fucking Eagles. Then I guess EDP can go back at him.
I suppose we could talk about James Charles threatening to sue everybody. That's not necessarily. I mean, it's about I think everybody's going to be really disappointed about that. I think he's going to sue the people that accused him. That's what I think. Yeah. UFC and boxing are two different beasts. Fair enough, but I didn't think Jake Paul could knock out a champion in boxing of UFC that only retired 2 years ago. That's a feat.
Well,
I think you have to start respecting Jake Paul a little bit on his boxing prowess. Yeah, he can do it.
Yeah, keep it. Now, I'm not a fight expert, so let's throw that out there now. None of us are fight experts. No. So calm the fuck down, okay? But Ben Askren is not known for his boxing.
Fair enough.
He's full-on wrestler. In fact, in professional MMA, he's 19-2. 19-2. That's pretty damn good. I'd expect, even if he's not a boxer, I'd expect someone who's 19-2 in MMA to last longer than Nate fucking Robinson, the basketball player.
I expected Nate Robinson to last longer. I mean, I just figure he played at the high. I mean, NBA is the highest level. It's a world-class athlete to get in there. I just figure a world-class athlete could just wipe the floor. Is Jake Paul a world-class athlete? I don't know. Maybe he is.
I don't know yet. But
yeah. I'm trying to
He's
wonder.
got the money to be, that's for sure.
Well, Pete Davidson, somebody who I can't stand, mentioned if you have enough followers, you can get you pretty much can get everything going. Yeah, there's some truth in that. But instead of getting mad about it, and this sucks for guys that train in the art of boxing. I get that. But I heard Mike Tyson say last time, what do you think about all these YouTube fights? And he says, I got mixed feelings. At one point, I hate it. I hate this. But at another point, boxing would be absolutely dead right now if it wasn't for YouTubers. You really got to, I think when everything's said and done, people are going to be thanking KSI when he's an older man for starting this whole thing. And I think it's good for boxing. And it doesn't even matter if the fight is technically good. It's just entertaining. And technically good fights, and I've known this from watching boxing for years, are not, the most textbook, smart type of high-end boxing are not always the most entertaining product. So if you can get YouTube beef, put that in the ring, I've said it many times, do it. I mean,
well, think about it too. Like, look at what, like you were talking about pro wrestling earlier. I mean, they sell, quote unquote, sell the fight. They sell the match with the promos going back and forth. UFC does a phenomenal job with that.
They do.
The fighters go back and forth. They're jawing at each other left and fucking right, getting super fucking personal with it. It's like, okay, I want to see what fucking happens here. Now, I don't tune into boxing all that often. Yeah. And for those of you that are, watch boxing religiously or a good amount, Raging Max might be able to chime in on that. You can chime in on the chat. But I mean, does boxing really have that back and forth aspect?
Heavyweight boxing has been pretty fun the past year or so.
Deontay
Wilder,
okay, yeah, I'll give you that one. I have seen a little bit of that. I'll give you that.
But you know what? Maybe they're learning. I mean, the WWE stars kind of, kayfabe, bullshit with each other backstage and what have you. But or on Twitter, I think it's a good way to do it. Who cares if it's real? Who cares? As long as you get an entertaining product in the ring, But real announcers, please. If you want to do a celebrity thing, you get a real announcer, you get a real color commentator.
Choose your words wisely.
I didn't mean it that way.
I know you didn't.
Speaking of announcers, do you know they got Ben Askren's name wrong when announcing him?
What do they call him? Ben Askren?
Ben Askew.
So funny. Well, I respect Ben. He just didn't care if he was there or not. He was there for the money.
Yeah.
And by the way, he said this. He said, somebody asked him in the press conference, he's like, this, unfortunately, this might take away from the Ben Askren legacy, and people are going to say a lot of horrible things and, say that you were embarrassed. And he goes, I think that's fair. I was embarrassed. I just got knocked out by Jake Paul.
Yeah.
It's one thing if I got knocked out by Jake Paul. It's
I think I'm still going to remember the Masvidal knee more.
Than Jake Paul? What do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
What mean was that?
What? No, where Masvidal knocked out Ben Askren in 6 seconds.
Yeah, Nick showed.
Oh yeah. That's it. But still, Jake Paul, man. You know what it is? I bet Deji's rooting for Jake Paul at this point, and anybody that ever lost to him.
Deji's looked the best so far against Jake Paul.
Yeah, but that's also when Jake Paul just started boxing training. Now we're like 3 years deep.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, he's significantly improved since then.
He is so. You know, one thing that really gets me, and something you didn't see in the Deji fight, is just how patient he is. He's so patient. He looks like a professional. My thing with Jake Paul, when I see the nobodies, the no names that you don't know, that do a boxing event, they are so much faster than him. That's the thing. And I think that, I wonder if a nobody, I don't think boxing is boring. Eating Mike Tyson's ass, I don't think so.
Nah.
That's hot. You know. No, I don't think the games. I mean, I think boxing got overregulated, overcontrolled, or controlled by too many people, and became such a bureaucracy that started to suck over the years. Whereas UFC is sort of built like WWE, but it's real sport, and you have a Dana White as there as a sort of a dictatorial figurehead, the way things go. And I honestly think not for a country, but for the UFC or boxing promotion, I think that's the way to go. Everybody know the UFC is the best. That's the title you want. And it used to be Pride back in the old days, but now it's UFC. And I'm all for it. I'm really dare I say I was kind of happy for Jake Paul. It's sad to say. I was happy for him because when he went down and went like a fetal position, you could see it really meant something to it. I know. I'm so hungry though. What? I want to eat more. Sorry. Food was 2 hours late. No, that's taking class. Unwind. You're on the air.
That has to be the worst event I've ever seen aired anywhere.
I hope they do better last time.
I guess,
because the last event they put on, Def Noodles versus John Swan. I pay for that. I pay for that. LOEC. Yeah, absolutely. Would totally go for that. No, it sucked. I honestly a good thing to say about it other than the Jake Paul knockout. And it's so sad because they put on one of the best shows I've ever seen. So I don't know what went wrong over there, if they just let things get out of control, but somebody needs to oversee that thing. You put a color commentator, play-by-play guy, and if you want to put a celebrity in there, rotate celebrities, because that was what drove me nuts the most, was the announcing.
Yeah, they had 4 or 5 commentators.
Yeah, it's too much.
At one time.
Yeah. It failed on almost every point. Like the amount of technical difficulties they had, the fact that it was so bad. It was clearly so bad behind the scenes that Pete Davidson was just roasting the production the whole time. Like he clearly wasn't taking it seriously anymore because you could tell it was a train wreck.
Yeah, he just kind of gave up, And I think that was a problem. I hope they learned from it.
They put so much money into the performances, into the acts.
Now, did I see Jake Paul come out with a fucking robot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that somewhere before, on his promotional tour or something, just in passing.
I thought that was pretty cool, though.
I haven't watched a whole lot of fighting in years. I used to watch a lot of MMA, but Jake looks like he can hit. It looks like his actual punching is good. He's got the power. It looks like.
Yeah.
But
is it professional power, or did he catch this guy off guard in the temple? That's what I.
Oh, in this case, it definitely looked like it was just catching him off guard. Mm-hmm. It didn't look because if you look at the rest of the match, he looks like he's just dodging him the whole time, just waiting for an opportunity, which to be fair is good. But
does anybody know who Snoop Dogg had the bet with? Because he's like, I got $2 million.
Dana White.
Dana White.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah.
And he put money on Jake Paul. That's so funny.
I didn't know he actually made the bet. I saw that before where he jokingly said he was going to bet $1 million against Jake, but I didn't know he actually did it.
I think he put $2 million on him.
Oh, jeez.
So it's just a 1-for-1 bet because I don't know.
Snoop Dogg just don't give a fuck, and I love it.
I wouldn't have done anything but take odds, unless if I was giving somebody, if I was letting somebody I'm betting Jake Paul. I want odds. So I was wondering if he got any point. Was it just a 1-for-1 bet? We both put $2 million up.
I can't believe they even got bloated Ric Flair to come out
for a person of color.
Bloated. Ric Flair's got to be 70 years old now, right?
He's 70.
He's my dad's age. Jesus.
Actually, I think he's 72.
You got it, 72.
Yeah, because I remember his last match with Shawn Michaels. I googled his age, and he was 59.
He was born in what? He was born in 49.
49.
Yeah, he's a year older.
Richard Morgan Flyer.
He's a year younger than my father. Jesus Christ. It was 2-1
I've
for
never
Jake.
seen.
Wait a minute. Shadow Crescent. Jake was a favorite going into that?
I would think so, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of people actually say that.
in a boxing match, I probably wouldn't put him as a heavy favorite.
No, I
but-
would put a heavy favorite because you don't know because the guy's retired. But favorite?
Askren's a mat wrestler. Like that's not his stand-up game's not that great.
Oh
Right.
yeah, when I said Ben Askren is known for wrestling, it's full on wrestling. That's why he got fucking kneed in the fucking temple by Masvidal in 6 seconds.
I saw that.
Yeah, I watched like a highlight reel of him, thinking like maybe I'd get a good idea, and it looked like he was a brawler. Usually, brawlers can take a lot of hits. Like that's one of the reasons that what's his name, the guy with the mohawk that used to it all kind of blew up on.
Iceman.
Yeah, Liddell. Yeah, Liddell.
Chuck
Like,
Liddell, great
like
guy.
his whole thing for a long time was like, I can just sit here and take punches and overpower you. But Askren clearly isn't one of those guys.
No, he's not.
It worked for a long time for Chuck Liddell.
I gotta be honest. If you get hit, I think if any man gets hit in a certain spot, right, with a certain amount of power of another adult man, they're going down. I don't care who the fuck they are. I don't think that's anything. Claire called me the N-word, Teddy.
Holla, holla.
But the only other thing I want to say.
Sure.
The only other thing I want to say is I've never seen an event where they screwed up the national anthem like that. Like I've heard it sung bad before.
I missed that one. I missed it.
Oh, they muted it. They muted it for the first quarter of the song.
so I actually have seen that. Remember I forget who it was. It was a Canadian hockey team. It was I think it was Edmonton, possibly Edmonton or Calgary. Either way, the organ went out when they were playing the national anthem, the American national anthem, and the Canadian fans, like as soon as it went out, started singing it right away in unison. It was fucking glorious.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah.
Oh, it was so great.
I bet we couldn't do the same thing.
Oh man.
No, we're retarded.
No, it'd be like, oh, Canada.
Please stop.
The Canadians do every lyric.
Canadian national anthem is badass, by the way, but that's
No, they have a great national anthem.
yeah.
But yeah, there you go. Well, thanks for the call, Aaron. All the best. And by the way, great video on Deaf Noodles. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Good stuff. And if you want to check Internet Unwind, he did a more of a in-depth. You probably see it in Nick's second video. He really he did the more analytical part, and really point. Yeah, what did he say? I think he said something like, "If you don't care, it's just a satirical character. Why do you block when that's criticized? Wouldn't you? Isn't that you got him? Got him. Andy called him. Yeah, no, because it's not a satirical character. It's a complete asshole YouTube douchebag. Good point. I'll open the phones completely. You can talk about what you want. Harrison, you're on here.
Oh, what's up? So I heard you talking about Tommy, about how you think that Jake Paul just caught him. I don't think so. I mean, he was hitting that body shot pretty early on. He was grabbing that body shot early on.
I caught him in the sense where he hit him in the temple. But no, I don't mean to take away from that. I was just trying to make the comparison that, look, if somebody punches you in the temple at a certain spot, no, I thought it was a nice combo. You jab to break the guard, and then you fall through as you're fucking breaking the guard. That's what it was. Beautiful combo. It's
I don't know. Like it's tough to say because you do see some of these guys just take shot after shot. I don't know if you know who Shane Carwin is. I mean, he's a MMA fighter. I mean, some of these guys can just take shots to the temple over and over again.
But there's no way to measure the power. You know what I mean? There's no real way to measure the power. But yeah, I'm sure. All right, some guys have softer chins than others. I do recognize that. But that's like biological. You can't do. I don't think it has anything to do with toughness. Your lights out or it's not. You know what I mean?
If you get hit enough, your chin starts to weaken. It does tend to happen. Like for example, Chuck Liddell, right? I mean, Chuck Liddell used to have an iron chin. He'd get hit all the time.
Unbelievable.
And then he fights against Tito Ortiz in Golden Boy, and he gets knocked out in the first punch. So if he gets enough pressure, and I think that's what happened to Ben. I mean, he had Robbie Lawler who just tagged him on the ground over and over again, and then of course Masvidal kneed him in the neck, and then
it was over.
Well, another thing too. I know this from hockey. Once you get one concussion, you're susceptible to other. I'm sure Ben, because he's a professional athlete. is probably a little more susceptible. Oh, the other thing we need to talk about, you consider yourself kind of a big fight fan? Because we're not we just like the big events.
Yeah, no, I love fights.
Oh, you love
I watch
fights. All right.
time, yeah.
I thought, without a doubt, the ref made the right call there. And here's why. We have no reason to believe, we didn't get to see an example, but we have no reason to believe that he wouldn't have called the fight for anybody else the same way. The other thing is he checked in with Ben, looked back because Jake thought the fight was back on. Then he calmed him down. He said something. It looks like he was satisfied with the answer. Then he took a step back, and then Ben stumbled towards him. Fight's over. I think that's the right call. I think we had a very good referee, by the way. That's what I don't think. Yeah, you could have let him fight, but I mean, Jake, if he was stumbling, Jake was going to really hit him that time. He was ready, and he was going to fuck that guy up. What do you think?
I would say it was a bad stoppage, but the fight would have gone badly anyway. I don't think it was a matter of Ben stumbling. I just don't think Ben has ever been in a boxing match before. Like usually in boxing, it's like step forward, like listen to my directions. I think Ben was just like, I want to fight Jake. I think Ben was confused about the exact
just let him go.
Boxing match. He didn't respond properly to the directions.
Well, Ben's
attention. Either way, I mean that fight was going to be over in the next 2 minutes. I mean, it was very.
Yeah, well, I think that's why the ref made the call though. So you're kind of supporting him in a roundabout way. If the fight was good, if he was going to get obliterated, you're supposed to stop the fight. I had no reason to believe he wouldn't. I don't think he knew where he was.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, if it was an amateur fight, I would go for it. I mean, Ben's a professional fighter. He has been rocked quite a few times, so I would let him fight. I'd give him
I probably would too, but I'm a psychopath. I
hype around it. Yeah,
I probably would too. Yeah, but by the way, Ben took it as like, hey, it was I wanted to fight, but that's not the way it works. That's pretty much the way he answered it.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, I think it's a legit knockout, and yeah, that's the end. And it's a bad stoppage for us, but that's not what the referee is supposed to make the call whether it's good for them.
Teddy Long should have came out and made it a tag team match.
Yeah. Boy, Logan.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I would let the fight keep going in that case. I think Ben looked aware enough. Like his legs didn't seem that wobbly.
He was reacting to Jake Paul. Like he was looking at Jake Paul. He was reacting. So I felt
exactly. I just don't think he knew what to do in that situation. And if you don't follow the directions, the fight gets stopped.
The fight's over. I mentioned that to somebody off the. You have one chance to get to satisfy the ref, and he didn't satisfy the ref. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, like the ref's job is to protect the fighters, and even if Ben was aware, if Ben isn't responding properly to his directions, the ref has no choice. So I get it. I get it for sure.
All right, man. Great call, man. Thanks for the call, Drew.
Great job. That was really good. Thank you.
Good call. Real good call. Amazing. A little mental. You're on the air.
Oh boy.
How can I help you?
One thing. Jake Paul needs to fight Tyson Fury. That's all I'm saying. Not Tyson. I'm Tommy Fury, his younger brother.
Tommy, I don't know who he is. Go ahead. Tell me about him.
Tommy Fury, that's Tyson's younger brother. And Jake Paul's 3-0. That's the match to make. That's all I want to say.
Tommy Fury is a pro boxer that's had many fights, though.
Hey, they say you want to put him on a real boxer. He's got
that's
clout.
A lot of money, I guess.
Eventually, he's gonna. If he wants to call himself a pro boxer, and I think Jake still has a lot to prove. I think he would tell you that.
You know who I think? He's
gonna have to fight a real boxer. That's trained.
I have a feeling I know who you're gonna say, Matt.
Who are you gonna say?
KSI's trainer, the guy who trained KSI.
Without Ryler, I mean, I guess, yeah, that could work too. I mean, I'm just saying, Tommy, Riddell, whoever, just as long as they're a real boxer.
The problem with fighting a real boxer, though, is they might not be a name boxer. That's what I'm worried about.
That's what I'm saying. Tommy Fury's a name.
Yeah, and I just googled Tommy Fury. You want to talk about hitting the genetic fucking lottery?
Yeah,
he's just as big as Tyson, right?
He's 6 foot, but I mean
he's only 6 foot.
He's only 6 foot, but I say only 6 foot, but the man is yoked.
Yeah. I think he was on one of the fucking Love Island fucking shows or something like that.
Jake don't look bad though. I'm saying he's not like a genetic freak or anything, but Jake looks real good in the ring.
No, I think of the two, like Logan Paul is the more quote unquote gifted.
Yeah, but he's
athlete.
big. He's a bigger man. He's like 6'4", 6'3", 6'4". You know.
Yeah.
Jake's not that tall. But I mean, he came in incredible. And I'll tell you, if I had to make a criticism of, I'm sitting there stuffing my face full of tacos and shit right now. But
I think he's a piece of shit.
I'm not saying he's a piece of shit. I think I would have came and he didn't really come in that good a shape. I understand that Ben Askren was always a little doughy. That he never came in with a cut body. That wasn't his thing, and he didn't need it, and he didn't win the fights. But he looked a little more doughy than I've seen in past fights.
Yeah, he looks like he was about to mow the front yard.
Yeah,
there was that one dude who fought what's his name, AJ, fucking Andy Ruiz. He fought him. He looked like a fucking Pillsbury Dough man out there.
Well, Andy Ruiz is fat. Like, he's a fat dude.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Tyson's also on the heavier side.
Yeah, Tyson Fury doesn't look that physically appealing, if that's the right word.
You also got
this man will sit up like the fucking Undertaker.
That's what I'm saying.
Is what it is. I wish. I thought Ben handled the whole situation like about as cool as you could have. I watched the. I was gonna play it on here, but I was a little nervous to do it.
He always does that though, because I remember when he got knocked out by Masvidal in 6 seconds when he finally woke up. He actually tweeted. He's like, "Well, that sucked."
If there's anyone that can handle the meme, it's Ben Askren.
Oh,
He can handle being meme.
Oh, really?
All the way to the bank.
No, I mean, he said it's fucking embarrassing. I got knocked out by Jake Paul, but
his tweet after the fight was "Sorry, world." So.
Oh, really?
I mean,
he did a great job building this fight, by the way. Like,
oh yeah, that was great.
He got a lot of attention.
Yeah, it's true. Just wish he would have,
especially from the UFC fans.
Another thing is like everybody is tuning into this shit because they want to see this brat get his brains kicked in, and it's just not happening, which builds a better story.
Yeah,
it's just not happening. This is awesome.
So what you're saying is CM Punk is next. Got it.
Oh, for God's sake!
I mean, I feel like Jake Paul's gonna have like that effect that CM Punk did, where nobody liked him, and then he kept winning, so they eventually started liking him.
Yeah,
I think that's
CM Punk never won.
Well, he got the WWE Championship, and then he kept.
I'm talking about his UFC career.
Oh no, I'm talking about him in WWE. Like no one liked him in the WWE, and then he just kept winning.
I know. Look, I think I know what you're saying. Everybody's Ali was like that too, because here's his. I'm going to talk in 1960s way of looking at the world, not today, and it's not my personal view. Who does this black guy think he is? Talking like that, Nation of Islam, telling poems. Who does he think he is? My dad's admitted that when he watched Frazier Ali, he was looking for Ali to get his ass kicked because there's a pretty good weight difference between the two. And Frazier's a more traditional athlete. He was, oh shucks, jolly gee whiz. Your standard fighter, and here's this rebellious guy that refuses to go to Vietnam. But my dad said after the fight was over, even though Frazier won, he had more respect for Ali. That he really was the greatest of all time. And then Ali would capture the title 2 times after that. So yeah, I think that's what you're trying to say. A little mental. I think what you're trying to say is like, yeah, the more this happens, the more he acts like a douche, the more he might be respected when he hits 30 if he just keeps winning.
Yeah.
If he keeps doing this, he might have a good career. Like if he keeps fighting.
I want to see him fight a legitimate prospect.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. If he beats a guy that's around his age that has been doing this and been in gym since he's 15 and has had pro fights, and he knocks that guy out, he's a real fighter.
I don't think he can do that.
But Jake Paul, Jake Paul's looking for numbers, and really the only person who can really do that is Tommy at the end of the day. Like, because Tommy brings numbers.
No.
He had one of the bigger fights.
Well, maybe he's an up-and-comer. Is he a prospect?
What if you throw him in there with Ryan Garcia?
Ryan Garcia's.
Oh, that would be. Well, Ryan Garcia's not.
They're not in the same weight class. Yeah, I think Ryan fights at 140.
I don't even think he needs a name. I'm just
throwing names out there.
He just needs a guy.
No.
He needs a guy that's going for the championship. That's
Jake Paul versus Bigfoot Silva. Jesus Christ.
I mean, look, if Floyd Mayweather is fighting Logan Paul, I can totally see Conor McGregor being like, okay, I'll fight Jake.
You'll do fucking nothing.
Well, see, Conor McGregor's a striker. He has to be.
Or maybe
McGregor
Nate
has
Diaz
to be
too.
Nate Diaz, Dylan Dennis, all those guys.
You throw him in there with Diaz. Diaz might tear him apart. Diaz would tear him apart. Both Diaz brothers.
Yeah.
They can take fucking punches.
But it's boxing.
They actually have fucking diamond chins.
I think Dennis would be the safest fight because he's a jiu-jitsu guy, right? That'd be another Ben Askren.
he tweeted he 100% wanted to do the fight now.
Here's the thing where I think you guys fundamentally disagree with me. I don't believe this is about numbers anymore for Jake Paul. I think he wants to be a boxer.
I think he wants the numbers, but he wants to be a boxer.
Yeah, I think look, he's a really rich man. The numbers are always there. What else? He wants to be seen as a professional athlete, and that's what this is about. That's what it's about. Yeah. That's why he's willing to go that extra inch. That's why he trains hard. That's why he's patient. That's why he listens. That's why he's not afraid. And Ben Askren isn't that guy anymore. And he got punished for it. You know, the punishment is you have to go the rest of your life being knocked out by Jake Paul. Yeah. And that's the thing that would have got me as Ben Askren. He's only 36 years old. There's no way that I'm letting that kid knock me out. It's just not happening. I'm going to fucking destroy it. But Ben, that part of his life is behind him. And I want to see him fight somebody that has the same attitude as he has. That's what I would say. That has the potential, and see if he can last. I don't think he can. But, you know, I never thought he was going to beat that. Who's the boxer or the NBA player?
Nate Robinson.
I never thought in a million years he could beat that guy.
I thought he could beat him.
You guys might know more than me.
He never boxed. I think because it's the same thing that happened with Floyd and McGregor. McGregor never boxed. I mean, he had boxing training, but not in the level of that Floyd had. And what happened? He walked him down the whole fucking time. And same thing.
I thought McGregor looked okay early, like really early on.
Distance, didn't he?
Early on, but I mean,
did he go the distance in both fights or one fight? With one.
I mean, he kind of. I think he kind of dragged it on. Yeah. I think he could a lot earlier.
It was stopped in the 10th round.
Yeah.
All righty. Thanks for calling, Little Mountain. Peace.
Yeah.
Good call. Sports Radio, 66 WNBC.
Hell yeah.
Live with
WFAN, New York.
With Chris Russo. And
Hey, Mikey! Get your head back. I used to deliver Roger Bell's paper when I was a kid. Shadow Crescent, you're on the air.
Hey, yo, everybody's talking about Jake Paul versus Ben Askren. Why can't we get Wings of Redemption versus Tipster, man? That would be the best fight ever.
No one.
Hey, would.
That fight would last a round, and they'd both be knocked out.
They knock each other out.
On the ground, gasping for air.
I don't know if it'll last.
Wouldn't it be great if they went around and both sit down and I could see I'm getting back up, and Tipster's like, I can't get back up. I can't get back up physically, and they both don't answer the bell. And then you have to put these referees in the position to call the fight. Yeah, that might be funny.
I don't know, man. Tipster looks like he can throw a good punch.
Yeah, sure. I wonder how many fist fights Tipster's been in his whole life. He's just not. I don't see that's a part of his makeup. Maybe it was when he was younger. All right. Anything else, Shadow Crescent?
Yeah, and I also noticed the chat saying too, like, and you already said this like early on, but there's like, are you gonna do the EDP stuff when the video comes out too? Or you're just gonna wait on it?
I'm probably not gonna do that stuff anymore, Bob. I might make jokes about it. I think I'm really done. I know I'm fucking cutting my dick off here, but I'm really tired of this shit, man. I've always said that you can't chase me off of YouTube. I can never. This could do it. I'm that sick of this shit. Like, what do you need to hear from me? Like, what can I possibly chime in? First of all, there's some pretty strong allegations against him in the first place, and now we know it. He's got an unhealthy attraction to underage girls, and he's willing to prey on them. You know, at least they're teenagers. I'm glad it's not worse. You know, I mean, I don't know what else to say.
I could totally understand, the frustration of being an Eagles fan, but it shouldn't.
Doesn't make me want to fuck a 16-year-old.
I don't think suffering through the Eagles, justifies doing that.
Maybe I'll look at it this way, dude. Maybe I'll get desperate for money and start covering this shit again. Fuck the final. Well,
I had to deal with the Rams from 2004 until they left in 2016 because of fucking Stan Kroenke, that fuck who moved that goddamn team away from the city and cost a ton of people their fucking jobs. So thank you, you fuck. But
did y'all turn into Chiefs fans?
I I like Mahomes, but I did not jump on the Chiefs bandwagon. I don't really have a team, but I do enjoy watching Mahomes. That dude is fucking unreal.
But is that what St. Louis did? Did they be like, all right, we're going Chiefs now?
A lot of people did, which is funny because the Chiefs were key players in the Rams moving to LA. But people are retarded and don't look into that. I'm ready for the XFL to come back. Thank you, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Go fucking battle Hawks.
You know what you need, Jeff? You need a sports talk show.
A sports talk show?
I think so.
Well, the cool thing is, I'll type something here in the chat. You can give me a sub on YouTube. I currently stream just fucking video games right now. But if you guys want to show up, you can kind of help me out with that, and I can help you out with your nutrition and training and shit like that.
You gotta do a talk show. All right, this guy's calling about EDP. I don't know if you knew that. I don't know if Jeff went around. It was just funny to me.
That's kind of what EDP does with the Eagles.
I don't know. I don't have an opinion. He's busted. Did he get arrested or anything? No.
No, he didn't.
No, he's probably not going to. And he's a creep, and I wouldn't have anything to do with him. No, there you go. He's not going to get busted. He's lucky. He's lucky it wasn't Chris Hansen, because he always had cops on. They made sure they rigged it in such a way where if you answered the call, if you showed up at the pretend little girl's house, you're fucked. And stupid ass, fat ass EDP fell for it. I mean, what the fuck's wrong with him? Hi, I'm 16-year-old, and I want nothing more than an obese fucking black man dick in my mouth. Like, how do you fall for that?
This is worse, dude. The bait was 13 years old.
What?
Yeah, the bait was 13 years old.
You didn't see the clip?
No.
I'm sorry. What?
What?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Are we confirming this, man?
I'm very sure. Like,
I saw the clip. It was talking about a 13-year-old.
Fuck him. He's a pedophile. There you go. There's my answer. Die. Fucking get cancer. Die. All right. There's my comment. Talk to you later.
Later.
What am I going to say? That it just shows you that I'm fucking actually avoiding. I thought it was some 17-year-old broad or some shit. I didn't put him on that hand. Fuck him. Die. How do you do that? You disgusting. All right. I don't do this shit. All right. Doggy, you're on the air. Dougie, excuse me. I can barely hear you.
Oh, sorry.
This is not working.
There you go.
Finger on the microphone.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. So my question is more of why is Jake fighting all these, retired? Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
Ben was retired for 2 years from the MMA. Yeah, he was an MMA fighter, but guy was sitting on the couch basically for 2 years. He's not going to come back in full force.
Why is Jake doing this? 2 reasons. There's the money, and this is his back. He probably couldn't get in boxing the normal way with his other job. There's your answer.
He's trying to build himself up.
He's building a fucking alternative route to the boxing world. There you go.
He's doing it, talking all kinds of shit. Somebody's gonna bite.
I keep biting. I keep watching these fucking things.
No, I enjoyed watching him last night. He actually looked like he had some talent in him. It's just
let's not forget that he was all-state Ohio wrestler. So some of those guys go. Wasn't Brock Lesnar from Ohio?
No, Minnesota.
Minnesota, basically South Canada, but yeah.
This is it's pretty high-level sports,
Yeah, it's the fight, like you said, one of those guys with no name, no record.
Yeah,
he's been training for years, just so he can actually box somebody. He's not boxing anybody.
That's a boxer.
At this point,
But see, he probably you know what the problem with that is? He can't do that because that won't sell. So it's like it's like a thing. I'm at this point. I don't think he's looking for easy victories. I think he's looking for people to call him a professional boxer, and maybe eventually a contender. And it's just like, was he 8-0 now or something like that? He's just gonna see where this takes him.
Through Jake Paul.
It's a great story.
Like 3-0 now.
He's 3-0.
Three or four.
No, he's had other fights that weren't big. Right?
One amateur fight, and then 3 professional fights.
Okay. All right, he's 3-0. We'll see how long the story goes, and that's all that really matters. I don't think he can't just quit his job and become a boxer. You know, he's got to kind of do it in between. This is the only way to do it, and it's going to make a lot of money even if he loses. You know, but I don't think he's coming to that ring thinking it doesn't matter if I lose. I'm just a fucking douchebag creator. No one's going to stop watching my videos or start watching my videos whether I win or lose. He's there to prove something. And when you have something to prove, you're going to do more than the fucking next guy. He has something to prove. I'm really impressed. I'll be honest with you.
I agree. It's hard for people to take him seriously right now when he's not fighting boxers. He's fighting.
I think it's who would fight him now? You know, like you got to get those fights, and you got to be able to. Here's when Jake Paul. I'm gonna tell you again, when he has to have two scenarios, right? He has to fight somebody that can conceivably beat him in the public's mind, not somebody that maybe knows fights like you do. All right, to be able to sell it, so that prevents him from fighting like the nobody that has a shot down the road or he's a big prospect. He can't fight that guy because that won't sell. So it's a little thing. So what he did is he did a little, and he can't quit his job and just go full-time boxer. So he found that the answer to the question is this is the only way he can eventually fight. And if he keeps winning, by the way, that fight's coming, Dougie. That fight's coming unless some like, you know, here's the worst thing that happened to him right now. They get some fucking YouTuber, right, that's never fought. He doesn't train, and he knocks him on his ass.
Yeah.
That's the end of Jake Paul. Right there and then. He's got a lot riding on this. I don't think this is about money.
Yeah.
I think it's only partially about money. This is about, you got to understand, like, I come from the sports obsessed. Like, this kind of mindset. So does Jeff, okay? It's all they think of. The only, you know, like, if you ask a guy, what would you do? You'd rather have sex or you want to win the Stanley Cup? No doubt, Stanley Cup. You know, that's the mindset.
The sex will come with that.
Yeah, exactly. I'll get sex later.
Possibly more than likely with the cup in the bed too.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. There you go. But you got to understand, like I don't think this is about money. I really think this is about being seen as a pro athlete, which is a dream to anybody that comes from a sports obsessed culture or family. That fair, Jeff? I think that's because you're the same way I am.
Absolutely.
All my father talks about is the New York Yankees. All we talked about growing up is hockey and baseball and football and tennis and all these great moments and these you know, and wrestling, the time, and you know, Hogan picked up Andre. It's like it's all you talk about when you come from these type of families, and he definitely comes from that type of family. So to him, I think he wants to be seen. Is he a fake pro athlete? Okay, maybe. Joker, but that's not what he wants. That is what he's fighting for. That's the inch he's trying to get, if you want to compare it to any given Sunday. I really believe that. There you go, bud.
He does, because I do think there's a lot of potential there, and I really hope he gets that big fight that's coming.
I hope he does too. Be crazy if he won it. Talk to you later, Dougie. Sports Talk Radio. Sports Talk Radio anonymity here on the air.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
I have a question.
Sure.
What would it take for you to fight Futuristic Hub?
Fight?
So what? Yeah, well, boxing match with Futuristic Hub.
Tell him to walk up to me. I don't think that'll take him step anywhere within 50 feet of me. There you go.
Yeah, I think that would be one hell of a fight.
I don't. I think I am in prison. Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's it. All right, see you.
Buddy. Bye-bye. Zero, you're on the air.
So, hello.
Hello?
Okay, so, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes. No, go ahead. Yes. Say it louder.
Hello. Okay.
All right, louder.
Anyway.
All right, go.
So, yeah, anyway.
Louder.
Regarding Jake's, you talked earlier about Jake's ambition as a boxer. He's already stated numerous times that he does want to pursue boxing seriously. He does want to be a professional boxer. So yes, you are technically.
I think I'm right. I really think I got this, dude. Whether he deserves that or whether he's gonna get it, it's true. But now that's the story. Now we're all trying to fight. Like it doesn't look like anybody's gonna shut this guy up. You know, I don't know.
Yep.
What do you think?
Do you think at this point KSI is a huge step down, basically?
Yes.
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I think KSI could end Jake Paul's run if that I'm talking about, the guy I was talking about before. Even if he showed up, KSI wins. KSI is not a boxer. I don't care that he beat Logan Paul.
What, you don't think this is an effective punch? You don't think the windmill punches work?
I think it's a good forward stroke in the Olympics in the pool, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, regarding like Jake Paul's prowess as a boxer and as an athlete, like his teachers in high school, if I remember correctly, and several like experts have actually commented on that. They've the Paul brothers are like evidently like talented. They have potential as athletes. So
Maybe.
yeah, it's that's practically not a point of contention anymore. And also, if you actually observe Jake Paul, like the way he boxes, and again, first of all, let me get this out of the way. I don't like Jake Paul. I would view him as a
you're
tool.
trying to tell the truth. You're trying to be objective. I believe you. You don't have to convince me.
Yeah. But at the same time, I have to acknowledge that he does have good fundamentals, like just based on his stance and the way he reacts to certain situations.
His knockout punch is the first thing I learned. Left jab, break up, break the guard, or at least separate it. Look and follow through with, and as you're breaking, follow through with the right hook. It's like one of the first things I learned, and I really got that deep into boxing. And it was ba. That's it. Fight's over. Holy shit, that worked. You know, all you got to do is move those gloves. You know, I was wondering before. You know, I had a little bit of training. I was gym. You know, I always wondered why boxers just, especially right-handed boxers, would just pat the gloves. I'm like, what are you doing? That doesn't hurt. He's not trying to hurt him. He's trying to move his hands. You know,
exactly.
And that's,
people boxing as a sport is like very like people really like undervalue like the strategy that comes into play with.
I'm not one of those people. It's a chess match.
Exactly.
It's a chess match.
Yeah, because there's only one thing you can do. It's not like MMA where it's like you can do 97 different fucking
boxing
things.
is one of those sports where, like pitching, if you can throw really hard, you'll make the team. Whereas if you can hit really hard, they're going to put you in a ring. But at the end of the day, people have to make up for that, and that would be good, solid fundamentals, and maybe even advanced technique at a professional point. So
just like with baseball, like if you can throw hard, they'll find a spot for you.
They'll find a spot.
Even so, you got to locate. You got to locate.
I mean, if you were like from Mongolia and your parents immigrate to New York City and you've never heard of baseball and neither have they.
Strange
and for some reason you can throw a baseball over 90 miles an hour.
Especially if you're
They're going to find a way for you to learn the game. Somebody is going to invest in that shit. And I think it's the same thing with punching power. But with Jake, it's a little more than punching. It's solid fundamentals and good patience. And you know what really impressed me? Like sometimes the hardest people to fight, or just take this in sports, gaming, any kind of competitive thing. The hardest people to, even poker is a good example. When somebody's playing wild, doesn't know what they're doing. Sometimes they're difficult to deal with. The NBA guy, Nate, what's his name?
Nate Robinson.
That, to me, that really showed some professionalism. He could beat up a guy that's flailing, and he stayed calm, cool, smart, and just waited for a spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like another thing that people seem to like overlook is that Jake Paul knows how to take a punch. Like he keeps his eyes open. Like whenever he gets punched, it's
that's the hardest. That's the hardest thing to learn too.
It really is, dude.
Because you're fighting all your urges.
Yep.
Like you're fighting like the natural.
You literally
thing.
have to go against common sense, which is
against
to
common
avoid
sense.
it.
And to like not tense up like when you feel the impact coming, because that's like the worst thing you can do. Like anytime you're about to take, I learned this in hockey too. Like the worst thing you can do when you're about to take a hit is to tense up. If you just stay relaxed, more than likely you're gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you know what they say. Probably the same. I don't know. Same thing. Drunks rarely get killed in drunk driving accidents. They usually kill the people that are sober in the car because they tense up before the impact. And the drunk's just like, I'm drunk. Ah!
Yep.
It's the same type of thing. If you're just kind of loose and you roll with the punch, quite literally, roll with the hit, it's probably the same thing. I'm really thank you. I guess all these fight fans call. We're not pretending to be fight guys. We're just sports guys.
Oh yeah. Also, additionally, like regarding whether or not like the fight was whether or not the fight was thrown.
No way.
Look, there are going to be people who say, yeah, it was thrown, it was thrown. But let's be honest, a lot of these people just want to see Jake Paul like get his ass out of time.
That's true.
I'm gonna give Jake Paul credit.
Yeah.
He's making himself look extremely fucking unlikable now, and people want to see him get taken down.
And that's what
you know.
I don't
he's
think.
a good. He's,
look,
he's
this is a YouTube drama podcast. We've been watching Jake for a minute. Okay. He doesn't have to try.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an unlikable person on top of whatever fucking act he's selling right now, for real.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, yeah, he's gonna be just fine. And I'm not there where I'm rooting for him, but I'm there where I respect him. You know. Yeah. Definitely respect him.
And one last thing I wanted to like mention is like regarding like again like whether or not the fight was thrown. Another thing you have to take into consideration is the fact that this man he's a UFC fighter. Again, different discipline, different sports.
Sure.
And also he's been retired for 2 years, so of course you know a lot of things could have happened. Like maybe his training wouldn't have.
We're
been, like,
never gonna know until he gets in a real fight with the guy that's
exactly.
We're never gonna know. But this
that
is
would
what
be
he
very
has to
interesting,
do to sell the fight, to continue his career, to weasel his way into the real boxing world. That's what he's got to do.
Yep.
You know. All right, I'm gonna let you go.
If the fight was thrown, the referee would have to be in on it. You know.
What's that?
I said if the fight was thrown, the referee would have had to have been in on it because Ben Askren got up.
Exactly, dude. Look at his neck snap. No way. This bet is first of all. I mean, these arguments are always bad, but I mean, is Ben known for being a complete scumbag?
I mean, he's known for being kind of an asshole. I wouldn't say a scumbag.
Type of guy to throw a fight?
No, yeah. Like, dude, you'd lose all reputation.
Yeah. I don't think he's an asshole at all. I think he's a realistic dude. Ben Askren. I think he's a good guy.
He was just, he played a character in UFC where he was kind of an asshole.
Yeah. All right, shout out to Tommy C's cat, Rico, versus douchebag, Jake Paul versus Tommy C. That would be a loser for me. Tomorrow, thoughts on Predator Poachers and next Chris Hansen. I don't have a comment. Thanks so much, though. Untitled, get some cigs. You look like I do need one. Teddy Long, Snoop Dogg, Untitled, and then we'll go to the other stuff right here. Thanks so much for your generosity. I'm sorry, it's kind of a little bit of a thrown together show. I do have company. The food came absolutely at the wrong time. And it's just one of those days. But we'll see you all here tomorrow for something, I bet. Shout out to Gigi Evans, the flabby-weight champion tipster. It's terrible. Russ Official. Jake, you going one-on-one with The Undertaker? Holla holla. Natasha Dorr, Jake Paul match and wedding. Tech issues. It also says Def Noodles versus John Swan. Good idea. I like it. And that's all we got for today. I'm going to close it out. I'm going to spend some time with the wife. We'll talk about Jake Paul. See you tomorrow. See you soon. Fuck EDP, man.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-town to King's home, slapping fives, black stones, 6 mile to danger zones. Bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated to evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me lead them eagles to you like I'm Ship Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe. Here's a headlock.
Bye. All right, I gotta call it.